And then now you get Lane Hutson at 8.85 for the next 8 seasons.
Yeah.
He has 9 total years, including this year, left of Canadiens control.
Dahlin goes towards him, and Marchand kind of sticks his leg out a little bit and knocks Dahlin down and ends up on top of him and just whacking at him and pull the helmet off.
Welcome to the Checking From Behind podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm your host, Zach, as always, joined by my co-host, Preston. And in today's episode, we actually have some news. A lot of it sucks because it's injury news. But we do have Carter Hart, the well-anticipated quote-unquote signing. But Vegas Golden Knights signed him just to a PTO. And I've seen some mixed reviews about this. Whether, he shouldn't be allowed back in the league or whether, Vegas is taking a chance on a guy who hasn't played hockey in almost 2 full seasons now. And I'm looking at this as Vegas almost kind of has no morals. I'm not going to get into the Canadian trial stuff, but I mean, we've seen them go from the Marc-Andre Fleury stuff and they've done some other bad things that I can't really think of.
I mean, typically when you have to put out a statement when you sign a player, that's not a great look.
It's not.
But I will say he was legally cleared of wrongdoing, and the NHL allowed him to return.
And when you can't really have a ton of flashback when the NHL is like, yeah, he can return to NHL play. It's like, what do you want the teams to do? Like we saw Carolina, for example, when they were in on Michael McLeod and they were looking at Carter Hart and their fan base was going fucking berserk. And then the Hurricanes are like, yeah, never mind. We're not going to sign him anymore.
Well, didn't he go to Russia, right?
Yeah.
McLeod? Yeah, I think 3 of the 5 guys have been signed. There's only, I think, 2 unsigned players.
Who, Hart, obviously. Who are the other 2?
Well, technically McLeod and,
oh, yeah.
There was another player. I can't remember all their names, but I know there's 2 that have, I think, Foot and one of the other guys has not been signed yet.
Formenton or whatever?
Huh?
Formenton?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But yeah. With the Carter Hart stuff, so with them signing a PTO as of October 15th, which he was eligible to do so, they are expected to sign him when he is eligible to return on December 1st to NHL play. Now, I put down on my notes suspension. Everybody that was reporting on this was kind of confusing it. Like, when they're suspended, are they not allowed to play, just practice with the team in general, be around the facility? Is this more of a thing where he's technically done with his suspension, but he's just not eligible to play for Vegas until December 1st? But either way, though,
suspended players can practice.
They can. Okay, so the suspension does end
it's
on
not
December 1st.
It's not as strict as the NFL where you can't even be in the building.
Yeah, which is absolutely absurd in my opinion. I mean, I get it, but it's absurd. So I'm looking at this as 2 ways, right? You have Adin Hill and Akira Schmid, who have both now started off great for Vegas this season, right?
Yes, Hill's been shaky.
He has been. And Schmid, too.
I wouldn't trust Schmid as my backup.
I wouldn't either. And I almost look at this as this can kind of light a fire, especially under Adin Hill, too, to be like, get your shit together. We have this goaltender who, and when he last played NHL hockey, was actually one of the better goaltenders in the league. Now, he wasn't lighting it on fire.
He was on a pretty bad Flyers team.
I mean, that Flyers team was atop the Metro, though.
Were they?
Yeah.
That was the year they blew the playoff spot.
Yeah.
I think that was probably mostly due to his play, though, because the goaltending after he got suspended was atrocious.
It was like one of the worst in the league. I mean, he was holding that team up. It was almost like a Dustin Wolf situation.
I think they were definitely overperforming the team.
Oh, they were as a team.
And Hart was helping. He was playing well.
And I'm sure Carter Hart, now having to be excused from the team like that, killed the team morale completely.
Oh, it's a big distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now I look at this as if I'm Adin Hill, I take this and I want to prove Vegas that I can still be a valuable starter for this team, because if Carter Hart comes on and he impresses this team in the AHL and in practices and stuff, all of a sudden by the Olympic break, by the trade deadline, I mean, he could possibly lose his job.
I'm not sure about that. I think, like you said, he hasn't played in an NHL game in over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's no reason to rush. I know Adin Hill and Schmid are, not the most trustworthy tandem. I still think Hill is okay as a starter for now. He's up and down, but they have the firepower to really overcome any really goaltending issues. I mean, I don't think they've lost a game in regulation
No,
yet.
they have not.
So clearly, it's not an issue with Jack Eichel and piling up the points, and Mitch Marner starting. He's got his first 2 goals last night for Vegas, and they just look to be figuring it out. And man, that team's going to be scary down the stretch. But there's no reason to rush Carter Hart back. He can practice for the next couple months, get back into shape, get used to NHL shots again. Because I'm sure he's been skating, but I'm not sure if he was allowed to skate with any NHL players and stuff like that. He was probably skating with like local people and his trainer and stuff. But he'll probably start off in the AHL, get some games under his belt, see how he looks. And Vegas has no obligation to really keep him playing. If he's okay, okay, you can play in the AHL. We're not going to force you up. And if he ends up coming back and he looks like he did when he was in Philadelphia before he got suspended, then they might have a potential starter.
Yeah, and Carter Hart for sure was keeping that Flyers team afloat before he got excused from the team, but people that are saying that he is like the next coming of Jesus, like they think that he was like this isn't a shot at Carter Hart, by the way. People are saying that because he was so quote unquote so good and he was like a Vezina Trophy candidate going like
that was 2 years ago.
He was only at a 909 save percentage. He wasn't this goaltender that's going to miraculously come in and play like Igor Shesterkin. Like he's a good goaltender, don't get me wrong, but people acting like he's going to come in and just Vegas is quote unquote a goaltender away. They're also if Carter Hart comes in and impresses an AHL and he gets called up.
I don't think they're a goaltender away though. They won a cup with Hill.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but I'm not liking the play of Adin Hill as we've talked about.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it right now. The Knights are a wagon, man. They have too much top end talent to unless Hill if Hill's like at a 900, like 905
from him.
Save percentage, that's good enough where you could score 4 or 5 goals a night.
I have a question for you. So
yeah,
with a couple contenders also needing a goaltender, and I know Oilers fans in the media, half of them love Stuart Skinner, the other half don't love him. It's like a split, and then the Hurricanes need a goaltender. Obviously, I just mentioned that the Hurricanes' PR and media and everything was killing their team when they were rumored to be in on Hart and McLeod. But the Oilers and the Hurricanes kind of miss out on an opportunity to at least take a swing on Carter Hart and be like, listen, he's here in case our goaltending doesn't work, and if he pans out, great, and if he doesn't, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think it was a very low-risk move for anybody that signed him, really. I'm sure there's lots of strings attached on that contract to make it easy to get out of if it doesn't work out. I think Carter Hart went and made what he felt was the best decision for him. So it wouldn't have hurt at all for Edmonton or Carolina just to try to get him signed. So, but I think it was more of a decision of Carter Hart's part. And I think Vegas can give him the opportunity to kind of take his time and not hurry back, where I feel like it's probably in Edmonton, really, they'd want him playing pretty quickly.
Yeah, in Edmonton, it almost feel like he'd be rushed up, per se. And then you get into that situation where now, if he's not playing good, it's like, just get
then you
rid
get
of him.
no matter where he goes, if he doesn't play well, whoever team's signed him is going to get canned. It's like, why'd you sign this guy? Like, he's POS and, and he's not good. Why'd you waste your money? So it's a gamble no matter who. Really, any of these players that haven't played in a few years. I think goaltending's a little bit of a bigger risk because they haven't been playing in the NHL, and you can kind of lose your game.
Oh, you do lose your game. It's more than just skating and doing all like this,
Like I said, I'm sure he's kept himself in shape.
Of course.
I'm sure he's been on the ice as much as he possibly can, but it's just not the same.
It's different when you're playing in an NHL game and now you have to see the puck flying at you.
Well, even NHL players in practice just getting like harder shots.
Right.
Like, it's tough.
It is really tough. We have some injury news to go over, unfortunately, and unfortunately for the Ottawa Senators, they will be missing their captain, Brady Tkachuk, who is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks due to surgery on his right thumb. And this injury was kind of a freak play where he got pushed into the boards and his wrist got kind of caught awkwardly on the boards and kind of pushed back his right thumb, and then he ended up obviously
probably
injuring
like
that.
Dislocated it or broke the joint in there.
Yeah, I think he broke the joint, whatever. And then he ended up going to the locker room. He came back And then he just didn't seem like right. Like when he was on the bench, he was shaking it, and it just looked like it was bothering him a lot. And then he obviously gets announced that he hurt his thumb, and they were unsure if they were going to do surgery or not. He could have came back in 4 to 5 weeks without the surgery, but of course, obviously, he decides to get the surgery and really get fully healed and get back for the Ottawa Senators. And the one thing the Senators cannot do is when they're missing him, they cannot just completely fall out of any playoff race. They kind of have to just
I mean,
stay.
they're not playing well right
They
now.
aren't. I mean, their goaltending isn't helping them at all. Their team play isn't great in front of them. So, I mean,
The Buffalo Sabres score 8 goals.
against them, I expected Miralainen to be a good goaltender this year. I know it's early too. There's a lot of time to change this and turn it around or stuff like that. But I mean, props to the Senators though. After that thrashing of 8-4, they did win their next game.
And then they lost to the Islanders last night.
A team that is supposed to be one of the worst in the league. On the bright side, Schaefer looks great, but that's besides the
Yeah,
point.
we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ottawa. Well, first on Tkachuk. This seems to be a trend with them, huh? They just seem pretty injury prone.
Well, Tkachuk has stayed healthy until now, though. Well, Brady per se, Matthew.
Brady's had
lower.
injuries, not as major as Matthew.
Not close. This,
But it comes with that style of play, right?
Mhm.
Everyone talks about they're unicorn players. There's nobody. There's like they're one of one. Like there's only everyone would love to have those guys on their team, which they would. But that kind of style of play, you're prone to injuries. Even like the thumb is a weird thing. It's just probably a weird accident. But yeah, I just hope he's healthy enough in time that I don't think their whole season's gonna fall apart just because of one player shouldn't. Because this Ottawa team has expectations this year.
Yep.
And right now, I know it's early in the season. They're 2-4. The thing that's concerning to me though is they've allowed 30 goals in 6 games.
Yes.
Averaging 5. That's concerning.
That is really concerning.
Yeah.
This isn't just like it's not. I don't know. It's I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, because no, I don't care what team you are. If you're allowing 5 goals a game,
Well,
you're not going to win many games.
you look at the start of the regular season. Let's see. They October 9th, I believe, was their first game against Tampa. So in their 6-7 games, whatever, 6-7, they allowed 4 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, 8 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals so far. That is not good. That is like a 5-6 goal against the game. That is brutal.
Oh, well, right now, Linus Ullmark's goals against average is 4, and Merrilainen is 7.23.
You can't have that. And Miralainen's defense, he's only played 1 game. But still, you shouldn't allow 8 goals in a game.
Part of that is on the defense, too.
Yeah.
You're letting all these scoring chances in. It's just unacceptable at this point. You claim to be a playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. I see more consistency out of you and better defense.
I have to see more out of this team. And I know it's early and they can turn it around, but the start of the season, they look like probably the worst defensive team in the league. And that includes the San Jose Sharks and Chicago Blackhawks, too, by the way.
They've had some bright stars offensively to start the season. Shane Pinto's had a really good start to the year. He's already had 7 goals.
Which, by the way, did we expect Shane Pinto to be in the Rocket race?
I don't know if he'll be in the Rocket race by the end of the year. We'll see. If he does, credit to him. But I'd be a little surprised if he's in the Rocket race by the end of the year. But right now he leads the league in goals.
He does.
Yeah.
I think Justin Brazeau's up there too.
Yeah.
2 guys you don't expect. I look at Ottawa. They won't have scoring problems this season, even without Tkachuk. They have 20 goals in 6 games, which I don't think is an issue. Again, like we talked about, it's the defense, it's the goaltending. It's stop having so many defensive breakdowns. Like even if this team can get the inflated goals against average down, just throughout the entire season, you're in a good spot. You're only 6 games in so far. You don't have too much to panic about right now. I mean, you could panic about the goaltending, but we've seen Linus Ullmark be a great goaltender for them last season, and I think he can be back to that. And Levi Miralainen, who I expect to have a better season in, I mean, allowing 8 goals, no goaltender in the NHL should do. Maybe it was just one of those nights for him. So, I mean,
I didn't pull him in the Sabres game.
I mean, yeah, that second period he had was brutal, and then the third period things just unraveled. So I agree with you. Going back to your earlier statement about just having Brady Tkachuk shouldn't kill this team completely. Now I know he's your captain. I know he's one of your better players, and if this happens, obviously we've talked about when Dylan Larkin went out with the Red Wings a couple years ago for that only 2 week stretch, by the way, 3 week stretch. They lost 7 straight, and it really killed their playoff chances. They missed
Oh,
the
they
playoffs by
were a
like a
comfortable
point.
playoff team, and then that injury happened, and they completely fell apart.
If you're Ottawa, you cannot go on a big
Yeah,
skid
you
because,
cannot let this
especially early in
snowball.
the season, if you end up during this time of missed time by Brady Tkachuk, go on some like 5, 6, 7+ game losing streak, your season's over, in my opinion. Especially with how competitive the East is going to be. Outside of the Rangers at home, they look really good on the road. The Penguins are off to a good start. The Bruins are off to a better start, although they've lost 3 straight games. So we'll see if they keep
I think the
sliding.
Bruins are who we thought they were.
Yeah, the three game winning streak to start the season was good enough for the Bruins, but your time's up. You're out of the playoff.
Detroit's been really impressive to
Yeah,
start the year, as the Montreal Canadiens have been.
Canadians have been great. We'll get to later, and obviously we know who the Leafs are, so it's going to be competitive. And if you're the Senators, I know you're at 4 points right now, 6 games in. Start winning some hockey games, and then we'll think differently of you. How about Anze Kopitar, another captain out for another team? The Los Angeles Kings are losing their guy. He suffered a foot injury after taking a puck to the skate during their loss to Minnesota last Monday. However, the good news is he does not have to be placed on IR, so he should be back in a couple weeks. It's thankfully not broken or anything like that. Probably just a major bone bruise or something like that. Either way, though, tough loss for Los Angeles. A tough loss and another tough loss in extra time last night for LA. They have been uninspiring and unimpressive so far, and obviously losing your captain is no good, especially when you're a team like LA that's also siding like the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, it's early in the season,
Right.
so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, losing Kopitar, even for a game, sucks. He's one of your best players still. He's your captain.
Mm-hmm.
But this is another team where I'm concerned about them from a goaltending perspective. Darcy Kemper had an amazing season last year, was a Vezina finalist, and right now he's posting an 857 save percentage, which isn't. Oh, sorry, 880 save percentage, which isn't good enough.
Okay, he hasn't been good. I will give him the benefit of the doubt that Jim Hiller, who I don't like as a coach, has been throwing Cody Ceci and Brian Dumoulin on the same defensive pairing, and they have been the worst defensive pairing in the league.
Yeah.
I still can't. I I can't believe that Howland went out and acquired both of them
Dude,
too
he
quickly.
loves his guys, man. He brought in Corey Perry too. He loves his
He
guys.
loves them, and they're hurting him.
I mean, I think they should have fired Jim Hiller after they blew that series to the Oilers in the playoff last
Hmm.
year, where they outplayed them the first 2 games and like completely fell apart the last 4 games of that series and got kind of dog walked. But
Yeah, with Kopitar being out now, and obviously you need some lineup changes. Byfield, right? He is going to take on a bigger role on the team. Same with guys like No, and you're going to need Trevor Moore and Alex Lafreniere to step up and play better than they have been the first few games of the season, and of course Hornfogel as well. But now you go from the one of the best two-way centers in the league and of all time in NHL history to now you need your guys that are struggling to not struggle anymore, right? And obviously you have your top guys like Kempe, Fiala, and Byfield who are producing, who are going to produce, but this is going to be a test for the LA Kings depth as well. Can they go out and can they start winning games without Anze
well, this is
Kopitar?
kind of like a vision of the future right here
Mm-hmm.
because this is a reality they're gonna have to face permanently next year. Like I know he's hurt right now, but he's not gonna be in the league next year.
Yep.
So they have I guess it's a bit of a preview to show they have to get ready for life without him and they clearly don't look ready for that right now.
They don't they don't look. And again, like we've said 6 million times, it is early, but with how LA looks right now, how they looked last night, I would start to hit the panic button a little bit. But I mean, 24 goals against the 6 games, you have to improve that too. Like I know I talked about the defense not being good, but this is where playing as a team comes into play, right? As a goaltender, you have to bail out your team sometimes, and sometimes the team has to bail out the goaltender sometimes. It's just how it works. You can't always rely on Darcy Kemper to put up a 922 save percentage
He
year
was
in and
out
year
of this
out.
world last
He
year.
was,
Yeah.
and now he's back to how he was for most of his career, just an average goaltender to start the year, right? Well, right now he's completely ass, but you guys get it though, right? He's not going to put up insane numbers every year. So the LA Kings need to pick it up, and I'm interested to see how they respond without Kopitar over the next few years. We didn't talk about this extension in our last episode because I think it happened like Monday or something like that, or
Yeah.
Sunday, whatever it was. Lane Hutson signed an 8 by $8.5 million extension. The fucking Montreal Canadiens did it again. They did it. Who's their GM?
Kent Hughes.
They also extended him as well.
Yep.
What was it, like a
Deserved.
5-year contract or something?
I don't know. It was deserved though. Yeah. No, he's been cooking.
Oh, I fucking love this team.
I haven't seen a rebuild done this fast in a long time.
This
Obviously,
team,
they got a little bit of luck. Slavkovsky winning the draft lottery. He's turned out to be a pretty good player.
yeah.
He only has 1 goal this year in 5 games, but he'll pick it up. But I think the real gems on this team has been Cole Caulfield's play. Dude's a superstar, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Suzuki, I think we're starting to get into the underrated category with him, where he just kind of does everything the right way. And I don't know if people talk about him as much as he should. And it could be me not being on social media very much, but Nick Suzuki's my guy.
I love it.
Dude, did you see that ending sequence of that game they had the other night against the Predators?
Lane Hutson blocked the empty net goal and then
Passed it up to Caulfield and just rips it on a 2-on-1. I mean, that was probably a save Sorrow should have had, but man. And then Caulfield scores the overtime with 4 seconds left.
Caulfield this season, 5 goals, 8 points in 6 games played. He's gonna hit 40 goals, dude.
Yes,
He
he's
can
going to
hit
score
80.
40 this
He
year.
can hit 85, 90 points this season.
I thought you were about to say 80 goals. I was like, huh?
No.
Right now he's at a goal per game race.
He is. I don't know if that keeps up, but I mean,
that'd be amazing if it did, right?
that would be insane. You look at this core though. You have Nick Suzuki, 7.875 for the next
bargain bin,
5
bin,
years.
bargain contract. Same thing with Caulfield, 7.8 bargain.
You have Slavkovsky, 8 years, 7.6. Like,
I can't believe they got Hutson to take less than Noah Dobson.
I thought Hutson was going to come at 10, 10.5.
Yeah.
Kent Hughes is a fucking magician, let me tell you that. He got Noah Dobson at 9.5, which I thought was fair value. You have Caden Goulet, who unfortunately is out with an injury right now, but he's at 6 years, $5.5 million. And then now you get Lane Hutson at 8.85 for the next 8 seasons.
Yeah.
He has 9 total years, including this year, left of Canadiens control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got a lot of young studs too coming up the lineup. Demidov's had a really good start to the season, and then they have David Reinbacher, a prospect defenseman who hasn't really even played an NHL game yet, still coming up the pipeline in a year or two.
We talk about this like off camera a lot, where we feel bad for Reinbacher sometimes because he had a great preseason last season before
he
he
probably
got
would
his
have
knee
played.
taken
He
out.
probably would have played last year in the
think
NHL.
he'd be
Yeah,
on the full-time NHL roster now.
but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It led to Lane Hutson having his breakout season and becoming a superstar kind of in a year. And now Reinbacher can kind of develop in the AHL and don't have to rush into the NHL. But this is a team that has a really bright future. They have a really bright present. And honestly, I think the only thing they're really missing right now to really take that next step to, having a deep playoff run is goaltending.
Here is kind of a take that maybe Canadiens fans will agree with. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Sam Montembeault this season, he's been good for them, but he hasn't put up the best numbers, right? An .857 save percentage, not greatest, right? Dobesh in 2 games has a .940 save percentage. I think Dobesh steals Montembeault's job by halfway through the season. This isn't just because of the small sample size we have with Dobesh this season, but also let's see how he did last season. Last season, in 16 games, he had a .909 save percentage, and that was, by the way, with Montembeault helping this team get into the playoffs. And Dobesh also helped the Canadiens make that final push as well. And I think that, Jakob Dobash ends up taking Montembeau's job, and that's no slight at Montembeau, but I think, like you said, they're a goaltender away. You also have Jacob Fowler coming up through the system as well. You traded Caden Premove for basically a bag of pucks over the offseason to the Maple Leafs because you know you have Fowler, you know you have Dobash, you know you also have Montembeau, who's a stopgap, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing where you get into a situation where now you have a younger goaltender playing better than your veteran goaltender, and then Montembeau can take a back seat. It was his time. It was a time to help the Canadiens develop, and now
Oh, he's been a good stopgap goalie for them for sure. I don't think anyone ever really viewed him as like the long-term solution for their goaltending need.
And I want to talk about a couple players here while we're on the Canadiens because Canadiens fans are going to fucking kill us if we don't talk about them. Zach Bolduc and Ivan Demidov. I don't know if you might have mentioned Ivan Demidov. I don't
Yes.
know. Demidov is fucking disgusting, let me tell you. And we'll get to more of him later down in the episode when we talk about more of the rookies that are studs. But Zach Bolduc, what an addition as well for the Canadiens. He has 4 points in 6 games. 3 of those are goals, by the way. He has been impressive, whether he's producing offensively, whether he hasn't or not. And let me tell you something else is that we've said this for the past 2 seasons now, where Martin St. Louis was the perfect hire for this team. And now he has this entire team, whether you're a vet like Brendan Gallagher or whether you're a rookie like Ivan Demidov, he has everybody bought into the system, bought into the culture of Montreal. And like you said, this seems like the quickest rebuild of fucking all time. You want to know what rebuild this reminds me of, going back to an NHL NFL comparison? This almost reminds me of the Detroit Lions rebuild.
The Lions were terrible
No,
years.
I'm talking about the post Matthew Stafford era. Excuse me, sorry.
But they were still rebuilding when they had Stafford.
Because it's a little bit different because the Lions made the Matthew Stafford trade, and then that helped propel their rebuild. They got Gibbs out of that and a bunch of draft picks, etc. Whereas the Canadiens, they made the finals in 2020, right? And then that didn't necessarily
They gave them false hope. They thought they were way better than they were. Carey Price ends up having to retire due to injuries, sustained in that final Stanley Cup final run. Then they were completely awful the next year.
For the 2 years, they were the worst team in the league, or one of. And then all of a sudden, a couple years ago, they get Slavkovsky in the 2022 first overall in the NHL draft. And then he gets off to a slow start, and people are like, why'd you pick him over Shane Wright and Logan Cooley and these guys? And now he looks like a stud. And I love what the Canadiens have done in Montreal so far. I love what this entire organization, Kent Hughes should be a finalist. I don't know what the award's called, but for I think they have a GM of the Year award or something like that. Yeah. Don't know what it's called again.
Doesn't really get any media attention to it, really. It's kind of, I don't even know if they present it at the NHL awards.
I don't think so. I think it's just like some side thing. I don't know. This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Hockey's back in the season. DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. I use DraftKings to bet on any NHL game and player props, and you should too. From anytime goal scorer to picking an underdog, trying to win big, DraftKings has it all. And here's the best part. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet hits. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467-3669. In Connecticut, help is available for gambling problems. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. Must be the age of 21 years or older. Age and eligibility vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after assurance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos for details. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only. Auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional terms at youtube.com/pro/NFL-Sunday-ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right, quick timeout before we get back to the action. This episode is brought to you by W Energy. Listen, hockey's fast, and whether you're breaking down plays, yelling shoot from the couch, or just getting in a workout, you've got to stay sharp. That's where W comes in. Clean energy with zero sugar, no crash, no artificial flavors or dyes. Just 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving, about 2 cups of coffee's worth to keep you locked in and ready to go. Personally, I use W before the gym, on the ice, and even when prepping content for the pod. If you need that that extra spark, whether you're grinding through work, lifting, or lacing up the skates, W's got you covered. Head over to w.gg and use code CFB Pod for 10% off your order. That's w.gg, code CFB Pod for 10% off your order. Fuel up, stay locked in, and let's get back to the episode. But let's get into some of the rookies who have been very impressive. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit in last week's episode, but guys like Buium, Schaefer, Demidov, and Sinecki and the rest of the crew, I know we both thought that probably Demidov or Snuggerud were going to win the Rookie of the Year, but it's looking like Schaefer has been in the league for a few years now. Buium has transferred.
Schaefer has not been what?
No, I know. It's looking like it. Like, it's looking
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I'm not. No. Obviously, he's a
I
rookie.
thought you said he's been in the league for a few years. Like,
No.
what?
No, I mean, he looks so confident with the puck. He looks
He's already
phenomenal.
averaging 20-plus minutes a night, too.
I mean, he's going to be relied on as a rookie early, and you know what? He has deserved it. Buium has transformed the power play for the Wild, who, granted, they have 5-on-5 scoring issues, but their power play looks better. Ivan Demidov, like we just talked about, he is nasty. He's going to be a Calder finalist unless something else happens. And then Bennett, Sinecki, and Beckett, Seneca, and Jimmy Snuggerud
That's how you pronounce it, Seneca?
yeah.
Okay.
And Jimmy Snuggerud are two dark horse Calder candidates as well. So I mean, the kids look fucking.
Well, I feel
great.
like at this point with Buium and Schaefer, I'm always going to give a little bit more credit to rookie defensemen over rookie forwards because I think as a rookie playing defense is much harder than playing forward because there's just so many little things that are going on. There's only 6 defensemen on the team. You're going to play a lot more minutes at a forward. A lot of rookie forwards end up probably playing like around 15, 16 minutes a night. You have Schaefer coming in already playing 20-plus minutes. I know he's at a point-per-game pace right now. I don't think he'll keep that up. I think around 50 points he'll probably finish with this season.
Schaefer?
Yeah, which would be if that doesn't win him the Calder, I don't know what wouldn't. So that would be a crazy year for a rookie defenseman.
If Schaefer ended up getting 50 points, the only way I think that he doesn't win the Calder is if a forward puts up 70-plus points.
Which very well could happen. I
Yeah.
mean, I think Demidov's going to that Montreal team can score.
They can fucking score.
And he's going to get power play time and a lot of really good scoring chances with a lot of really good players around him.
Yeah, and I think that there's a couple guys like you touched on a little bit, Zeev Buium, where he came in, he made his NHL debut in the playoffs. He looked really good, and he's one of those guys that underrated. Like, we talk about all these mainstream media guys like Schaefer, like Demidov, even like Jimmy Snuggerud and Ryan. Oh, we didn't mention Ryan Leonard, who kind of doesn't really get talked about enough either.
I mean, he doesn't
but
have any
like
points this year.
no,
so.
he doesn't look super great. But like even Jimmy Snuggerud seemed to get a little bit more attention because of that playoff series against Winnipeg where they almost upset them. Whereas Ivan Demidov had 2 points in the 2 Montreal Canadiens games he played in the playoffs, but because they lost, and I think it was 5 games or something like that.
Lost 6 to Vegas.
Not Montreal.
I thought you were talking about Minnesota.
No, I was talking about Demidov.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Buium.
No, you're fine. But Buium the same thing too, where he has a good debut in the playoffs in a couple games, but then because they kind of lose in 5-6 games, they kind of get swept under the rug. So this is going to be a tighter Calder race than what I initially thought.
I did think it was going to be tight because I didn't really know who to pick. I ended up picking Jimmy Snuggerud from St. Louis. He's also had a pretty good start to the season too. 4 points. He's another player that made his debut late last year in the season. Had a really good playoff, as you mentioned, against Winnipeg. This is going to be a very competitive Calder race for sure. I don't think there's going to be a clear-cut runaway winner like last year with Lane Hutson.
I'm excited to see it. I am excited. And I thought it was going to be Demidov, a little bit of a gap, and then guys like, hold on, let me bring it up real quick. Like Schaefer and like Buium and Seneca and
Schaefer,
Snuggerud.
I kind of had low expectations for, and that's not because I don't think he's a good player. It's just because of the situation he was in Long Island, where they're not the strongest team. They have some defensive struggles. And playing, he was 17 when he was drafted. He literally just turned 18 like a few weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
And what he's done is literally an 18-year-old has been extremely impressive.
It has been impressive. Moving on to the New York Rangers, who I briefly mentioned them to open up the episode where they look good on the road. But at home, they look like probably the worst team in the league. They have yet to score a goal on home ice. And they have lost by scores of 3-0 to the Penguins, 1-0 to the Capitals, and then 2-0 to the Oilers, all on home ice. And I just feel for Shesterkin, man, because he plays his heart out. And he has allowed 3 goals in 4 games played.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly not the problem there.
Listen, JT Miller has come out and in his press conference interviews kind of ripped the team publicly, and I would rather have my captain and my players be like, this shit's fucking unacceptable, than to sit there and be like, we'll be fine. I would want the Rangers players to be fucking furious about this.
My question is, does he really need to tell the media about it? Like, you don't think the guys in there know that they're not playing well enough? I don't know if I like that. Just yelling, throwing my team under the bus to the media and everybody. They have to know they're not playing good and not playing good enough.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like my captain just throwing everybody under the bus. I get he's trying to motivate the guys. Just for me personally, I don't know if I'd like that as a player on that team. They know what they need to do. They're professional hockey players.
I agree with that part, but I think it might be needed. But I'm looking at it where, okay, if you throw a single player and start throwing names out.
Well, yeah, that's unacceptable.
I think that if you can sit here and just be like, you know what, this shit's fucking unacceptable. We need to play better, etc. He goes on and goes on. I think that's acceptable. Now, if you even if you're fucking pull a Cam Ward and be like, yes, I want that from my players and my coaches instead of fucking being. I get you have to be media trained and I get all this shit. You can't just go to the media and say whatever the fuck you want because obviously it gets quoted and the media is out they want quotes. But at the end of the day, I think something is needed, and whether they
all I'm saying is if you're 6 games, what did they play? They played 6 games.
Yeah.
6 games in the season, and you already got your captain yelling at the media saying we fucking suck. I don't know if that's a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Their next 2 games the rest of the home games in October, there's only 2 of them versus the Wild and versus the Sharks. If you do not score at least 1 goal in either of those games, you have an issue. And
yeah, especially the Sharks. No offense to the Sharks, but they're not really known for their defensive play.
See, for Nedeljkovic and Askarov, man, have had some questionable goals on them. Nedeljkovic had, in the opening game against Vegas, allowed a floater to tie the game for Jack Eichel, and then went out to go play the puck, I believe it was, and completely
I was listening to the Spit and Chicklets podcast the other day, and they had Will Smith and Celebrini on there, and they were making fun of him to him, and they were trying to get a reaction out of the players. What do you want us to fucking say, man?
They were ripping Nedeljkovic, and I felt bad for that. It must be so awkward for Smith and Celebrini.
Oh, everyone knows, that's a fucking horrible play. Yes. You can't let that happen, but you're not going to throw your guy under the bus.
What are they going to say? Yeah, that just can't happen. They're just going to sit there. Whatever they say is going to be taken the wrong way, no matter what.
I don't really like that I think it was Biz that said that.
Yeah, I don't mind them saying they said that one thing about Nedeljkovic right before they started ripping him. Okay, whatever. Throw that out. Call it a day.
They kept doing it though.
They kept going on and beating a dead horse. I did not like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to get the guys to say something. I know they're young, so they might slip up, but I think they handled it well.
They're definitely media trained for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even after you just played your first NHL game, you're not going to say anything.
Well, I mean, they're both smart guys. They went to college for a year.
Yeah, that's true. They played in big market college teams. Going back to the Rangers, their power play is horrible. They aren't getting enough high danger shots 5-on-5 on the road or at home on the power play, even strength, whatever. They don't look good at all. Did you know they tried Matt Rempe as a net front presence on power play 1?
That's a bold decision.
It is a very bold decision.
Did it work?
I don't think so.
I mean, right now, their leading goal scorer is Adam Fox with 3 goals. I know we're talking about them like they're in last place. They're 3-3. They're technically in a playoff spot right now. They played 7 games. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
They're 3-0-1 on the road, though.
Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think they'll figure it out at home, but they've got to figure it out sooner rather than later.
I will say it is a good sign they're playing really good on the road, because if they figure it out at home ice, it could be a very dangerous team, especially the way
I mean, those
play.
fans got to be pissed though. Like, especially in New York, those tickets are expensive. You're going to Madison Square Garden, and you can't even see your team score a fucking goal.
You know what? I understand it. Like first game, you have Sullivan, behind the bench against his old team, whatever. Pittsburgh takes it to him, etc. But then after that, though, like, you have no excuses, man. Like, okay, the first game isn't an excuse no matter what. You shouldn't ever get shut out, but it happens, right? It's part of hockey. So I don't know. We'll see if they figure it out. But either way, though, it does suck that, real quick, Vincent Trocheck, he ends up getting placed on LTR. Just want to throw out that piece of news for people who don't know already, which is a tough loss. The Chicago Blackhawks, maybe they're better than what we thought. Maybe just a little bit. Nazar, Bedard, and Teravainen are off to really hot starts. And, of course, Spencer Knight is off to a phenomenal start. We keep talking about this kid every single week, that he just keeps playing good hockey. And maybe this team is a 500 team. I know it's early.
That's a little high. I mean, good start to the year for sure. I really like Frank Nazar showing up to the season and kind of like shutting down the critics, saying
My bad.
I mean, it wasn't fair to question it though. I would say it's more of a question for the Blackhawks management than the player.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm never gonna fault the player for taking a contract that's offered to him. The team offered you the contract. Who are you to not take it?
Right.
You have every right to take it. But the Blackhawks, I would say more so, are shutting people up. Nazar has been electric to start the year. Connor Bedard looks a little bit more determined this year, and he's just not going to let the rest of his team drag him down. And like Spencer Knight has been awesome for them.
He just last show who they hired over the offseason to come in and be a head coach for them. He actually looks like he has his team playing fast. They have quick decision-making, better decision-making at both ends of the ice, and they just seem overall more confident. And their wins, listen, they're not pretty wins because, of course, they're still getting outshot heavily like they always have.
That's
but
big
you know
for
what?
them.
They're winning.
It's important to them for a very young team like this to figure out different ways how to win.
Right, you don't have to win in 6-5. Well, if you can win 6-5 games, if you can win 2-1 games, they ended up winning 3-1 against Utah with 14 shots on net. And you want to know something? On Wednesday night, they beat a team that's supposed to be competing for a playoff spot, the Blues as well, 8-4. And that's showing you that they can not only win a low-scoring game of 4 goals, but they can also win a high-scoring game of 12 goals.
I was really impressed with them. I watched their opening game against the Panthers. And they played a really strong game in there too. I mean, Spencer Knight kind of held them in there, but they didn't give up the fight.
They're playing hard, and this team is showing that they know they're not supposed to be good, but you know what? They don't give a flying fuck. They are gonna play hard for 60+ minutes a night, whether it takes extra time or not. And you know what? I've been impressed with Connor Bedard so far. He's not making a bunch of highlight reel plays, but you know what? He's still producing on the stat sheet
But
and off the stat sheet.
He can take over a game, I think, if he needs to.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, we've seen it his first 2 years where he's all over highlight reels. He's making these insane plays, and his teammates are just fucking up. You know what? He understands that in the NHL, you're not going to make a highlight reel play every single night. Just get to the hard areas, get to the dirty areas, make the simple pass, make the smart decision. If that's a simple zone entry and then just tapping it back to the point to start a cycle, that's all it takes. You don't always need to go through 3 defenders in order to make a play, right? And I think he's understanding that. I think Jeff Blashill has him understanding that. And that's growth right there. That's development right there. I think that's what helps him take Bedard to the next step and be more consistent in this league.
I think Connor Bedard will be the captain of the Blackhawks in a year or two.
Yeah.
Whenever Nick Foligno moves on from the team, obviously they're not going to strip the C away from him. But I think Bedard's on track to be the captain of the Blackhawks in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bedard's growing as a leader in that locker room as well too, and I mean he's in his 3rd season now, and it's only a matter of time where Nick Foligno can only play for so much longer, right? And when he's off the Blackhawks team, I think Bedard will, if he's not a captain, he'll at least have an A. He doesn't have an A right now, does he? No, he doesn't.
I'm not sure.
Not sure. He probably fucking does now that I said he doesn't.
I mean, I could check real quick.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, so like, Bedard's one of these guys where it's more than just about growing as like a player on the ice. It's about off the ice as well. He was brought in right after Patrick Kane and
No,
Jonathan.
he does not
does
have a
not have
letter.
an A.
Nick
Sweet.
Foligno's the captain. Jason Dickinson has an A, and Connor Murphy has an A. So it's all vet leaders.
There we go. So yeah, I think if he doesn't get the C, at least it'll be an A. But I've been impressed with this Chicago Blackhawks team so far, and I expect them to keep it up. Even Tyler Bertuzzi is playing good hockey so far as well. Which
I mean, this team's got money to spend next year too. They have, I mean, right now they have $15 million in cap space,
yep.
which is a lot. And then next year they are projected to have, why isn't it loading? $54 million in cap space. They do have to sign Connor Bedard. He's going to get probably as big of an extension as they can give him,
Yep.
term wise. And other than that, though, they don't really have a ton of high profile players that get signed. Lucas Reichel's not going to demand a ton of money and stuff like that. Levshinov's a year or two away. They don't even have a Shea Weber on LTIR. Like, that's how much cap space they have. They
need him on the roster in order to be at the floor.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
they can go big game hunting next year in free agency if there's any good free agents left at this point.
Yeah.
Sounds like everyone's just keeping their players. So
You know what? If you're the Blackhawks, though, this is the exact position you want to be in. And I've apologized every time we talk about the Blackhawks. I apologize for Davidson because one episode I went on and I was fucking bashing him for how he was handling the street.
I think he's done a good job. Like I haven't really had too many issues of what they've done the last few years. I think last year was obviously. I mean, I didn't think they were going to be good, but
No.
I didn't think they were going to be that bad.
He's handled this rebuild well, and he hasn't rushed it either. He's just relied on drafting and developing and not making. He didn't need to go out and sign a Mitch Marner if he ended up hitting the open market, for example.
That would have been nice.
That would have been nice. He didn't really make a huge run at Nikolai Ehlers either. I mean, I don't think.
Well, you have to manage your expectations too.
Right.
With a lot of these veteran star players, like, yeah, you can pay them, but like, you know, you're Mitch Marner and you're UFA and you're looking around, and, you know, the Blackhawks are offering you more money than anybody else by like $1 million or $2, but you know that they're not necessarily in a place to win a Stanley Cup in the next 3-4 years. So you kind of have with a veteran player like Ehlers as well. Like, he's running out of time to win a Stanley Cup, and he's going to want to go to a team where he has a chance he can win that in the first few years of his contract.
Yep. This is an NHL GM franchise mode where you can offer him $3 million more than every other team. It's like, well, you signed me.
Yeah, like, very could well work, but
maybe I mean, you know, it could work. Maybe that player wants to play for the Blackhawks for some reason. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Chicago is a good hockey market. Players don't have an issue with playing there. I still think probably in a year or two they'll really start being ready to make playoff pushes.
I agree with that statement. I'm excited to see where this rebuild takes them. So I added a weekly segment for our weekend episode. It's called Stock Watch. 3 players, teams, GMs, anything in the league who are rising, and then who's falling. I have 3 rising here. Spencer Knight, we've talked about a little bit. The Vegas Golden Knights, who Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Marner, and that entire team looks like a fucking wagon. And then the Colorado Avalanche look like an absolute wagon as well. Right now, they're top of the Central Division at 5-0-1 with 11 points. And I think I could have put with Vegas Jack Eichel. I could have just threw him.
Dude, he's 15 points in 6 games.
Dude, he's insane. He is
Imagine
insane.
trading him.
I couldn't imagine. You know what? The Buffalo Sabres could use a guy like him right now. They really could.
No, Tuck is better.
Alex Tuck, please. No. Jack Eichel, man, dude. If we thought last season was as good, most of us knew, me and you included, knew he was going to have a better season this season. So far, he's proving us right.
Look at his line, man. He's playing with Mitch Marner.
That's exactly why.
Dude,
him and Mark Stone in the last 6 games have 28 total points. Just those 2 together.
Not fair, man. It's not fair.
God, hold on. I want to look at the Avalanche real quick. Their stats, because obviously they have. Where are their stats on there? They don't have stats and standings. My bad, guys. They have Nathan McKinnon, who has 10 points in 6 games. Natchez has 10 in 6 games as well. Makar has 7 in 6. And their goaltending, Scott Wedgwood, because Mackenzie Blackwood has been hurt as of this entire season.
Yep, he's been good.
.938 save percentage for Scott Wedgwood in 6 games played. they've been really good. All right, now going over to falling, we have the Los Angeles Kings, who we talked about. The Florida Panthers have lost 4 straight games so far,
They got their butts beat by the Buffalo Sabres
3-0.
yesterday.
I enjoyed watching that game. I
That
did.
was kind of chaotic, dude. Brad Marchand, how did he not get kicked out of that game?
So how the sequence started is that along the boards, kind of away from the play, Donnelly gave him a little bit cross-check. It's hockey. Fucking cry me a river.
I mean, it was a clear cross check. He should have got a penalty for that.
He did full out, extended his arms.
It was
right
away
to
from the
number.
play. That's probably why the refs didn't see it, but that was a cross check.
And then
that should have been a penalty.
It should have been. And then they ended up going together like across the circles and stuff. Donnelly tries to go hit him, whiffs, and then
Marchand tripped him.
Oh, he tripped him.
He stuck his leg out.
I thought Donnelly ended up going to try to.
No, so he cross-checked him. The puck's in the corner, and Marchand's getting up, and they pass the puck to Dahlin. He skates towards the middle of the ice, and Marchand follows him, and Dahlin just shoots or passes it, and then Marchand's keeps pushing him and yelling at him, and then Dahlin goes towards him, and Marchand kind of sticks his leg out a little bit and knocks Dahlin down, ends up on top of him, and just
started
whacking at him
wailing.
and pulled the helmet off, and then Dahlin literally just covering his head, trying not to get punched right in the head.
You know what? Okay, this is what I like about this play. And first off, Marchand, I fucking hate you as a hockey player. Now you're a great media person. I love you off the ice.
But that's who Brad Marchand is. He does stuff like that.
I know, but fucking wailing at my captain. Fuck you.
I don't know how he get kicked out of the game for that, especially after where he brought his helmet with him into the penalty box and destroyed it.
He ripped off the straps and the ear.
And then he threw it onto the ice. Like, I don't know how that's not a 10-minute misconduct.
I don't know why the refs didn't.
Like, if that is not unsportsmanlike conduct, then what the fuck is unsportsmanlike?
By the way, at this point, I think the Sabres are up, 2-0 at this point? Yeah, they're up 2-0 at this point.
Yeah.
And credit to the Sabres for not taking an extra penalty, because about 30 seconds later, they made a 3-0 on the power play. Josh Stoner was. You know, teams could have looked at this and be like, defend your captain, and they still defended him without taking a penalty. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about this whole thing, where they got to go out of it. But either way, though, third, Elias Pettersson has not looked great for the Canucks so far. And we are planning on to have a Canucks writer come on and talk about their slow start. And Elias Pettersson is one of these guys where he needs to play better if the Canucks want to be better, and I expect more out of their $11.5 million player.
And the longer he goes on like this, the more people are going to start gunning at him for not trading him last year when they had a chance to.
Do we think they traded the wrong guy? Or is this a situation where you were going to trade?
I think it was a lose-lose.
It's valid.
Because let's say you do trade Pettersson and he goes on and he figures out his game again, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll see if he figures it out. I mean, they're stuck with him now, so.
Yeah, I mean, he has a full no movement clause now?
Full no movement clause, and it didn't kick until July 1st of this year. So I know there were teams interested. I know the Sabres had very deep talks with him before they traded Cousins to Ottawa.
I know the Red Wings were looking at Pettersson too, so.
They had to get out of jail free card, and they didn't take it.
They did not. That's going to end it for today's episode. If you guys enjoy all of our content, all of our socials are down below, as well as the subscribe bell. New episodes out every single Sunday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you guys in our next episode.